third one is ensuring success experiences rewarding, and these are the very important points which we will discuss one by one. And first is first is familiar to unfamiliar. Here what happens? The teacher's duty is to deal from familiar to unfamiliar situation. Here, the teacher is required to organize the content in such a manner that the examples, illustrations, etc. explain the content must start with the familiar situations or events of the learner. That means what the learner knows, that is the familiar situation. What the learner is well accomplished with the experiences that the learner knows, or the learner is having some experiences, that is the familiar experiences that the learner has, and what is to be taught, that is the unfamiliar experiences, that is that unfamiliar experience and familiar experience, in between these two the teacher should make a bridge between these two. For example, suppose a political science teacher, when he wants to teach the Lok Sabha, regarding Lok Sabha, suppose the political science teacher wants to deliver a lesson on Lok Sabha, then directly he should not teach about Lok Sabha. That this is unfamiliar situation. That means the students, they do not know about it. What is then familiar situation? Familiar situation is that the students, they are well known with the village panchayat from the very beginning. That from the very beginning of this teaching learning process regarding Lok Sabha, the teacher should give the example of village panchayat in which the students are well acquainted, and from this understanding the student will know automatically the experiences or the learning or subject matter about the Lok Sabha. This is the familiar to unfamiliar way of organizing the content. And second is simple to complex. That means the students, they should be given the they should be given simple. That means the teacher should explain in a very easy way first from the very beginning. The content should be organized by the teacher in such a way that simple concepts are presented first, and then complex concepts are provided by the teacher. So here what happens, suppose for an example I would like to say that suppose the students, they are unknown about environmental hazards. What the environmental hazards are there, they are unknown, but this is the complex situation. But what is simple situation? That the students, they know that what are the factors responsible for pollution. This thing that the students, they do know. And if the students, they know what are the factors for pollution of the environment, from this simple concept, automatically the students, they can be able to go and understand about the environmental hazards, which is known as the complex situation. And the third one is ensuring success experience rewarding. This is the third way of organizing the content. This is the third principle. Here what happens, the teacher provides an assignment or exercise to the students, where the students, they get success experience in solving that exercise instead of a failure experience. That means, suppose the students from the very beginning, they should be hello, 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 hello. एबार सोची सेटा अनम्यूट कर दियो, अनम्यूट कर दियो, डिस्टर्ब होची घरे कथा होचन, ठीक अछि. So, this is the third way. First, from the very beginning, what happens? The some problem should be given, and when the students they solve the problem, automatically they can be they can be encouraged by themselves. Suppose one problem is given by the teacher, and if the student they solve, automatically the teacher gives some reward. Rewards in the sense that verbal reward. That for an example, when the students they are to be taught about to central tendency, measures of central tendency in statistics, the students know arithmetic average. So the students from the knowledge of arithmetic average, automatically they can know the mean, median and mode, which is the which is different aspects of measures of central tendency. So this is the way by which the students they get automatically reward from their own way. That means the students they are more encouraged by themselves. This is what we say different ways of content organization. And now we'll discuss content. What are the different content organization and its specific techniques? What are the different specific techniques by which content can be organized systematically by a lecturer? For a good lecture, the content organization should be done in such a way that some specific techniques help the teacher to organize the content. सारे म्यूट कर दियो से म्यूट कर दियो यारे बहुत डिस्टर्ब होची. First is the flow charting. Flow charting, it is very important activity for content organization. And this what is this flow chart? What is this flow chart? Flow chart means it is a type of chart for the teaching. Disturb होची. Hello, hello कार म्यूट अनम्यूट कर दियो हो जिवो. हेलो
हेलो सर
जो डिस्टर्ब होची टिके कर दियो. हाँ ठीक अछि. अच्छा, flow charting. Flow charting, you know that suppose for
सॉरी सर
teaching, for teach, suppose flow chart, what does it mean? Flow chart means the informations are given from the lower to higher. Suppose for an example, suppose if the administration of a particular school or college is to be taught to the students, first what happens that from the students, and above the students teacher is there, above the teacher the principal or the headmaster is there, and above the headmaster some other higher education department officer is there. By this process, by this process the students can be taught about the administration of a particular organization. So this is what the what is the flow about the flow chart. And many important things are used that is necessary for a good lecture. First, what happens, the planning before the lecture. And you can if the lecturer, if a teacher wants to deliver a good lecture, first before lecture, the teacher should plan. In this step, what happens? The teacher can identify the specific instructional objective. You see, whenever the teacher wants to deliver a lesson, the teacher in his mind prefixes some instructional objectives. You know, Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective, that according to Bloom, there are 6 objectives. First, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The teacher should do keep all these things in his mind before starting a lecture. So this is very important. Instructional objectives first it is to be identified, and second one is designing proper sequence of information. The information, the learning experiences or the subject matter which is to be given, that should be properly arranged. That is sequentially should be arranged. Then the teacher should think that what are the audiovisual aids necessary for the lecture. These things she should first plan. And during the lecture session, what is the duty of the teacher? So during the lecture session, you know that whenever the teacher presents his learning experiences, first the teacher puts some introductory question to the students. Why does the teacher put the introductory questions to the students? Because it is very important on the part of the teacher to motivate the learner. This is done only for motivating the students. And after motivating, the teaching learning materials that should be presented systematically, topic, subtopic. Then after completion of a subtopic, then second subtopic the teacher should do go, and like this the teaching learning process involves sequence of delivering the experiences to the students. And what happens during the presentation, the teacher does the teacher's work is very important during teaching learning process, during presentation stage, that to what extent the students they have well understood or not. In order to measure this, the teacher puts some questions that is known as the formative test. Formative test means the test which is conducted during the process of instruction. And from the formative test, the teacher knows that to what extent the students have already understood the learning experiences. Therefore, the teacher uh, can change his method of or process of teaching if the feedback, if after giving feedback to the students, the teacher's intention will automatically change, that the students they will understand better. So the formal test is conducted by the teacher from time to time during his lecture. And if the students their performance will not be better, then automatically the teacher can change the teaching style. And this is the during the presentation stage. And at the last stage, or that is the third stage, assessment at the end of the session. After uh, after the end of a particular topic, the final test, or that is known as the summative test, that is conducted. Summative test means at the end of the unit, the teacher assesses the students' performance, and this is known as the formative test. And from this formative test, the performance of the students is known, and if any doubt, or if the performance of the students is not better, then automatically the teacher provides feedback to the learner, and after getting satisfaction from the students, then the teacher's duty is to plan for the next lecture. This is all about your example of this flow chart. This so first I have given the example of an administration system of a school, and this is another example how the teacher can plan. This is the flow chart of teaching, uh, uh, which can be done by the lecturer, by the teacher, for providing a lecture. And now second way of organizing the content is matrices. You know, matrices means what? You can prepare matrices of the teaching points. Matrices are two-dimensional chart. This is in matrices is a chart that is a two-dimensional chart which shows the relationship among the concept, ideas, events, principles, etc. in two dimensions. Suppose one example I will give, that suppose on cognitive domain, one dimension will be knowledge, one dimension will be knowledge, and other dimension will be the different objectives. Suppose there are six objectives, under cognitive domain. One matrix will be objectives, and other matrix will be knowledge, understanding, or application, analysis, etc., etc. Whatever it may be. And under this is the two way two way of, that is, or two dimensional charts. And and also you can also, in other way, you can clarify. Suppose if you take one dimension knowledge, in under knowledge, what are the different types of questions? Subtype, or that is object type. If you take this, it will be another dimension. So this the teacher also can use the matrices while the teacher processes or organizes the content. And next is that content mapping. That this is a technique which the teacher uses to organizing the content. That when the teacher begins the lecture, the teacher, he prepares a content mapping. That means, see, for an example, suppose different different for a tree, different aspects of a tree are there, or different parts of a tree are there. So for different parts, the student, for their better understanding, the teacher can prepare a map that the particular tree has branches, it has leaves, it has flowers, it has fruits. So many things are there, and it can be given in a map. So this is the another way of organizing the content. And during content organization, the teachers should give on all these processes by which the teaching learning process will be better for the students. And then the progressive display of content structure. The students, that means progressive display. That means systematically how it can be shown or reflected in a picture. Suppose, for an example, suppose human body. Suppose the teacher wants to teach about a human body. So human body has different parts: head, trunk, limbs, and skin, all these things are there. And then how head has different parts, face, neck, back, and all these things are to be reflected in picture. Picture means that human beings picture cannot be drawn, but it should be the main points should be written. Head, head. Under the head, the face is there, neck is there, back is there, and under face, ears, nose, hair, cheeks. So many things are there, and all these things are reflected, reflected systematically. And this is what about the content organization. And another skill, that how can the teacher prepare lecturing notes. So here the points, sub-points are under this particular point, that care for preparation. Whenever the teacher prepares a lecture, he should do prepare well in advance. Thoroughly, thoroughly he can prevent the last minute headaches. That means if the teacher does not prepare a good lecture well in advance before the start of the lecture, then when the teacher will teach in the class, the teacher will face many problems. Last minute headache means the teacher will face many problems. Therefore, the teacher should prepare the lesson notes well in advance, and this is very important. And here another thing is that the avoid lecturing verbatim. This is another point, that the teacher should avoid lecturing verbatim. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means simply that if the teacher simply read from the pre-prepared text, suppose the teacher what he prepares, that means he prepares a note for a good lecture. The teacher should prepare a good note. And here, if the teacher simply reads from the note, then it will be very ineffective for a good lecture. Therefore, the teacher should do during presentation, or during teaching learning process, the teacher should never read what he has written in a paper. जहाँ पेपर लिखि आनी था पेपर से डायरेक्टली पढ़िया उचित नुह, ताकू रेफर करी पढ़िबो. दिस इज द वेरी इंपोर्टेंट थिंग. इफ द टीचर ओनली रीड्स द टॉपिक, reads the content, the students they will feel boredom. Therefore, this thing the teacher should avoid. He is to write the notes. It is very important, and it is also very helpful to the students. But he should never read from the text what he has written beforehand. This is very important. He should follow the notes, but not it is not at all important for the teacher. It is not at all required for the teacher to simply read the content matter which he brings on a paper. Next is the try different formats. That means the notes, how to write the notes. There are different formats of writing the notes. So it depends on different subjects, and also it differs from subject to subject. For teaching a science subject, and for teaching for other arts subject, and it will not be easy for teaching learning process. And the teacher should also prepare different types of formats for teaching different types of subjects. Therefore, the teacher should prepare notes which it can help during during the teaching learning process. And the teacher should also prepare new examples. The examples are there in the book, but it should not be sufficient for the students. Therefore, the teacher should be an innovative one. That only the examples which are given in the book that should not be given by the teacher, but the examples the teacher should create by oneself. New examples that should be formulated by the teacher, and he should give it or present before the students. And here you see what are the activities that is being done during the introductory phase of a lecture. What are the activities? You know that when the activities, the very important activity during the start of the lecture is the to know the entry behavior of the students. Therefore the teacher wants therefore the teacher always checks the entry behavior. That means whether the students they have the minimum requirement of knowledge to understand the topic. That is very important on the part of the teacher to know the students entry behavior. In order to meaningful assimilate the content of the lecture, the students may be required to know certain information or possess certain skills, that is known as the entering behavior. And this entering behavior can help the students to understand better. If the students they do not have that entry behavior, if the students they do not have minimum knowledge, then the students they cannot understand the topic what the teacher wants to provide newly to the students. Therefore the students they should have entry behavior. This thing the teacher should check. How does the teacher check the entry behavior? By putting some questions. Therefore when the teacher gives a lesson, also puts introductory question, this is how the teacher evaluates the entry behavior of the students. This is how we can know the teaching or the for teaching the entry behavior. And for arousing interest and motivation, what is the role of the teacher? For arousing motivation among the students, the teacher's duty is to, by hook or crook, the students' motivation is to be aroused. Therefore, the teacher's duty is to motivate. How it can be motivated? By posing an observation apparently contrary to the common expectation. That means the teacher should first observe all the students. The teacher should observe the situation, the class situation, by narrating real life episode. The two students are also encouraged by the teacher through narration or through description of a real life episode. And also the students they are more interested when some performance of experiment in science it is conducted. That experiment, from the experiment the students they can acquire some experiences. And the students to the students the teacher should put such a question by which the students they can recall the previous learning experiences. So these are the different processes by which the teacher can motivate the students. And here, what are the activities that can be undertaken during development phase? That means during development of a lecture, what are the activities that is undertaken by the teacher? And one is that example. So when the teacher teaches in the class, when the teacher delivers his lesson, the teacher not only give the concept by simple writing on the blackboard, but also he should give examples. He should give the real examples. He should, how can the teacher give real examples? The real examples the teacher can give through either through using teaching learning materials by by TV, or by using some uh, uh, OSP. By OSP, the teacher can give only picture, but in LCD projector, different types of projector, the teacher also should use this for uh, making the topic more interesting and understanding. So here the teacher during discussion deliberate attempt should be taken into consideration. That means during discussion the teachers should put questions to the students, and it will be more effective and the students will take part. And observe the reactions of the students during teaching learning process, whether the students they are understanding or not. The teacher's duty is to observe the students, whether they are mindfully listening or they are not listening. The teacher should apply different techniques in order to know their concentration towards the topic. And the teacher's repetition of exercise, what the teacher teaches, at last the teacher should repeat some of the major uh, concepts of a particular topic. It can be done through illustration. The examples, different examples should be given, and uh, the teacher gives and the teacher keeps revisiting the factors that inspires the students in a particular topic through applying or showing different learning materials. And here the teacher also use different techniques to sustain students attention. The students attention, how it will be towards the teacher, that the teacher should find different techniques or activities that can be undertaken during consolidation phase. Different activities such as reviewing or summarizing. The teacher should summarize what he has taught. He reviews and he summarizes, and the students they can be more attracted or encouraged for teaching learning process. And establish second, that is establish achievement of goals. Here the teacher should help the students that a purpose has been served or not. That means the topic which is taught to the students, and after the end of the topic or teaching learning process, what the students they have achieved, whether the students they have achieved the goals or not. In order to know, the teacher should check the achievement of the students, and the students should, the teacher's duty is in this context is to give assignments to the students. From the assignments, the teacher can know the progress of the students, and uh, and this is very, assignment is very important for the students to know the, performance of the student. This is all things which are to be taken into consideration during the content organizations. And here, what are the skills? Second point, that second skill is, what are the skills associated with the delivery of a lecture? What are the skills associated with the delivery of a lecture? Here, the first point under it, that maintain eye and ear contact. This is very important on the part of the teacher, that the teacher should maintain eye to eye contact democratically to all the students, and also the teacher should listen what the students they say. This is very important, that eye to eye contact to every corner of the student, every corner of the uh, that classroom, that the teacher should give more importance on it. This is very important, eye to eye contact and giving eye carefully to all the listeners. That means sometimes what happens, the students they want to tell something, or if the teacher doesn't listen carefully, then the students they are disgusted. Therefore, it is very important, teacher should maintain eye and ear contact with the students. And another technique, that during delivery of a lesson, that all these things I am discussing during delivery of lesson. Prior to that, I was discussing about how to organize the content material. And here, use movements to hold attention. The teacher's duty is to, during delivery of a lesson, uh, he should hold attention of the students by moving, or by changing different body postures, that at a particular place in the class, the teacher should never stand. He always should use the body movements. That's the posture of the lecturer, of the teacher, should be changed always. At a particular place, he should not stand for a for the class. That means for the entire time of the class, he should not stand at a particular place, but he should change his place. But that means the teacher sometimes should go into the class, and he should approach the student when the teacher put some question, and the answers given by the teacher, answers given by the students, he should particularly approach to that particular student who gives the answer. If by this process the teacher uses his movements, then the students they will be more attracted, and they will concentrate their mind towards study, teaching learning process. Body language body language sometimes helps the students to learn better. Therefore, body language means conveying ideas and feelings through the use of gestures, hands, eyes, etc. Body language can be reflected by gestures, by also hands, by eyes, and this is what we say the body language. It can help the learners to learn better, and it can have a great impact on the students' learning. And here, the another thing is that using communication boosters. That means communication boosters means the teacher should use different audio visual aids or visual aids, audio aids, or many things like photographs, cartoons, charts, maps, all these things. These are the communication boosters. It can help to understand the topic better. Therefore, this is the technique, one of the techniques. And varying the stimulus, sometimes you see that the purpose varying the stimulus is another point during lecture. The purpose of varying the stimulus is more or less similar to that of including communication boosters. That means varying the stimulus, it also helps the teaching learning process. The teacher uses body language, uses communication boosters, uses teaching aids, and by using all these things, the teaching learning process becomes more effective. And here, another thing that very important on the part of the teacher, sometimes the teacher, sometimes the teacher commits some mistake. Hello, hello, am I audible? Subha Dalta? Hello, hello.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
Hello?
ସାର୍ ଅଡିବଲ୍ ସାର୍ ଅଡିବଲ୍
हाँ,
ସାର୍
हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. Sometimes what happens, during lecture, the teacher commits some mistake during lecture. The teacher commits mistake. It does not mean that a teacher will always uh, always teacher always tries uh, to tell the students or to impact or to provide knowledge in a right manner. Sometimes during lecture, the the hello, 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 hello.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍
Yes, sir. You're
ठीक
audible,
ଅଛି,
sir.
ଚାଲିଛି ତ ମୁଁ ଭାବିଲି କୋଉଠି ଅଟକି ଗଲା କଣ ହେଲା, ଠିକ ଅଛି. Sometimes see during lecture the everyone, it is the nature that the lecturer commits mistakes. Whenever the teacher commits mistake, the teacher should laugh at himself, and the students, they can understand that something is going wrong. Thus it is very important factor for the part of the teacher. Whenever the teacher commits, he should do laugh does not mean in a loud sense. Simple smile should be given, should be smiling face should be there. And the teacher should say that here I have done a mistake. The students, they can understand that here mistake is there, and that is very important. And another thing, that whenever the teacher teaches, he should do use pace. Pace means some rest should be given whenever the teacher uses his techniques of teaching. That means he should not continuously, without break, he should do teach. He should remain. He should do teach during teaching learning process. He should take rest. Rest means which pose should be given. What type of minimum rest that is needed, that the teacher should use. If the without a break, the break that should be taken by the teacher. Prepare yourself emotionally for the class. Whenever you are delivering a lesson, the teacher should spend their time immediately before proceeding to the class. That means, so before starting the class, the teacher should to come in contact with the students. This is very important. During and before starting the lecture. So this can help the teacher. By which it can help the teacher? It can help the teacher that the teacher will automatically know some of the students. Regarding students, they the teacher can know about them about them means about the students. Here the during a lecture, questioning skill is another important thing. During lecture, how to put the questions, this is very important. Questions, it is a powerful technique of classroom instruction. How the question can be put, you know that the questions should be prepared before 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 giving a lecture. That the teacher should not on this spot prepare the question. The teacher should prepare the question beforehand, and sometimes what happens, he can use the blackboard. That is previously he should do write on the roll board, that is BB cloth, and he should hang before the students, and can put the questions by easy manner. Easy manner means what? The students should be allowed to read the questions which is written on the that is a BB cloth. The student, they can read the question, and other students, they can answer the question. This is the process. And another process of asking the question is that the teacher should prepare the question. That is, the teacher should prepare Xerox questions, and it should be provided to all the students, by which they will be able to find the questionnaire, and they can read the question and can answer one by one if it is put by the teacher. Then whenever, another technique of putting the question is that the teacher should randomly call the students for providing the answer. This is very important thing. And the type of questions he should prepare, and the question should be based on knowledge objective, comprehension objective, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and these are the different questions which the teacher should prepare beforehand. And this is the questions which are prepared. It is only to know the progress of the students, to which extent the students have actually understood the subject matter. This is what we say the questioning skill. So the teacher should prepare all these things, and after evaluation of the students' performance, the teacher can complete the topic, and then can prepare for another topic. And here at the end of the topic, or at the end of the delivery of a lesson, the teacher should never forget to give home task to the students. And home task helps the students for practice at home, or even if the students, they can be given, if time permits, the students can be given questions to answer in the same classroom, if time permits. And this question answer system, this is very helpful for the students to know their performance, and also it can be very helpful for the teacher to give feedback, and the teacher can know the effectiveness of his teaching learning process. This is what we say the uh, um, teaching during teaching delivery or delivery of a lesson. And this is the your seventh unit which is completed. And then I will go to skills. Seventh unit has been completed, and number eight unit associated skills associated with the conduct of interaction section. And this is deliver session. And during interact section, what are the skills that is to be required for this session? Skills associated with the conduct of interaction session. So the teacher is teaching. During teaching learning process, what are the interaction, what are the skills necessary for interaction? And this is what are the natures and importance of an interaction section? Why interaction session is very much helpful for the students and also for the teachers. Basically, it helps the students more. Why it is necessary? Why it is very useful? Because it explores the teaching learning materials. It explores the materials and it shares how hello 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 hello
Yes, sir.
ଶୁଭାଯାଉଛି ତ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ମୁଁ ଭାବିଲି କଣ ନେଟୱାର୍କ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ। ଠିକ ଅଛି ଠିକ ଅଛି। ଆଚ୍ଛା, now we'll discuss eighth unit, that is skills associated with the conduct of interaction section. Interaction session is very helpful. And why it is necessary? What is the importance? It explores materials. It shares new examples from diverse background, and it examines and defends ideas. And students' dialogue helps in analyzing the content. During interaction section, the students, as they are involved with the teacher is, and the teacher as well as the student, they are very important. Interact section expresses or allows to all the students as well as the teachers. And what are different types of interaction section? The interaction session are of different types. First is that discussion. Discussion also is a type of interaction session. So this discussion also it is used. So during how the interaction session that goes on. And there are different types of interaction session. One is a discussion, and when discussion is going on, or when it goes on, for discussion, the chairperson will remain in charge of the discussion, who facilitate the smooth conduct of this discussion. And the participants, they give more, or they put more questions to the speaker, and the information or the answers are given by the speaker and also by other students or participants. This is the discussion, and here what happens that in discussion most groups spend a fair amount of time in finding out each other ideas and opinions. Discussions are organized with the help of a chairperson. In discussion, a chairperson will be there and he will just manage, he will be the manager of the discussion group. And another, that is problem solving. Here what happens in this type of interactive session, the problem is given, and it is to be judged by all the group members. The group members, they find some solution of a problem, and they can give their views before the group, before the students or before the participants. Another is negotiation. Negotiation groups. What is negotiation group? Negotiation group, that is the groups set up when more than one solution to a problem is available and when these solutions are in conflict. When some problem is given and some solutions are conflict, means the one problem has more solutions, at that time conflict arises. If a problem has only one solution, then the conflict will not be created. If the problem has more than one solution, automatically which problem, which solution is to be accepted, this is very important. Therefore conflict arises. Here what happens? What is the duty of the chairperson? Here what happens? The duty of the chairperson is to accept one. That means that it is very important duty of the chairperson in negotiation group to select the one solution of the problem. The solution which is given by the chairperson, every member of the group is to obey it. This is the negotiation, that the chairperson should give his solution from different conflicting solutions. This is very important. And decision making. Here what another group that is very essential in interaction session, that is decision making. That decision making, here what happens, when no decision is found, the group as a whole is asked to make a judgment. Here this is another group, this is group interactive session, that when no decision is found, here in case of negotiation group some decisions are found. Here in decision making discussion, no decision is found. If no decision is found, what happens? Then the group as a whole, it is the duty of all the members of a group, they should think, they should make a judgment unanimously. They should think over the matter and give at last one judgment, which is known as value judgment. Such judgment can be value judgment, and all the members of a group should decide only one. This is the decision making. And now this is basically what I was discussing. The generally these are the different groups, and I will discuss as given in your syllabus that type of discussion. One is a teacher controlled discussion. Second one is collaborative discussion. Third one is the student run discussion. Then we will discuss first type teacher controlled discussion. Here what happens? That in teacher controlled discussion, the teacher only controls the group. The teacher controls. And here in this teacher controlled discussion, the teacher puts questions to the students. And the teacher summarizes the discussion and determines its direction. The teacher's duty is to summarize, the teacher's duty is to control, the teacher's duty is to pose questions to the students. This is all about the teacher control discussion. Second is the collaborative discussion. What is then the collaborative discussion? And in collaborative discussion, that is the group to interact collaboratively. Group members, they are collaboratively, combiningly, they should take part. And the discussion, all the members, they are collaboratively to take or to participate and to get the judgment, to get the decision. They can control the goals regarding the goal. The students of a group, they can discuss and they can frame the rules. Here the teacher will not frame the rules, the students, they will set the rules how interaction proceeds. And third one is student run discussion. Student run discussion means the leader is selected of a group, that student leader proceeds the discussion. The teacher's duty is at the background. The teacher's duty is at the background. The teacher's role is only to guide. The teacher at the background and the students as the subject matter expert. Here the students' duty is more important. The teacher at the background, students are the subject matter expert. Because the student, they should do minutely read about the particular topic which is to be discussed in a discussion group or student run discussion. The leader who is selected, he should have sufficient knowledge about a subject matter. He should have a depth knowledge in the area of discussion, and others are to listen, and they should also they put questions whenever they are unable to understand. This is what we say the student run discussion. And now I will discuss what are the formats of group discussion. Group discussion, it's a format, different formats of group discussion. So first is that critique. Critique means these are the different formats. I am going to discuss about the format of group discussion. First is the critique. Critique. So in this format of group discussion, one-to-one procedure where the teacher discusses a topic with an individual student to assess students' strength and weakness, and the teacher suggests the improvements. Here what happens? The teacher, this is one-on-one procedure. That means the teacher discusses a topic with an individual, not to the group, with a particular individual, not to the group, and assesses students' strength. And whenever the teacher discusses about a particular topic with the students, with a particular student, only one student, teacher is one and student is one. Therefore, it is one on one procedure. This is therefore known as one on one procedure. In critique, the students assesses students students assessment can be done by the teacher. The teacher can know the student's weakness, also the student's strength. If the student's weakness it is found by the teacher, then the teacher can suggest some improvement, and this is the critique, one to one critique. And here also the teacher is the best guide for the for the students in critique format of group discussion. And uh, second one is circle. That means see, and here this critique also in otherwise in it is otherwise known as the Socrates method. Socrates method means it is question answer method. This is the by this method the teacher puts question to the students, the student answers. If the student is unable to answer the question, the teacher also gives answer. This is the Socrates method. And second one is a circle. The students they sit in a circle, and this is somewhat a different approach, that they can sit around the circle. Here in circle, the question is put by the teacher. The teacher will sit before them, but the student they will sit like a circle. So the teacher puts questions to the students one after another in a as they sit in a circle. So question, and each for answering the question, each participants may answer. Each one, no member of the circle can be escaped. So all these members of the circle are bound to answer. If he or she does not know, then that will be answer will be the answer will be given by another student or by the teacher if the student does not know. And this is the circle. And here the only the duty of the teacher is to put question. No student can act like a chairman. The teacher is the chairman. The teacher puts question and the students they answers one by one. And another method, that is poll, P-O-L-L, poll. So here in this discussion also, this is discussion format. This is how the discussion format can be encouraged. So it is used in some classes that is to collect data by pool. Pool means the students are asked to provide some information about something that they know about that. The teacher here here teacher's duty is that whenever the students they are to be selected by this format, all the students, they will not be selected. All the students, they will not be allowed to form this poll format. Some of the students are pulled by the teacher. The teacher can select the students, and the form group is formed. The students are asked to provide information about something. The students are asked by the teacher about some particular problem or question, and the students, they can answer. And here the data are collected, and all the data are when tallied, and they are used by the class in some way. That means, suppose in different suppose the student, if in particular paper, suppose political science, the some questions are put to the pooled students, pooled members, and if it is not actually, it is not wise on the part of the teacher to pool or to select which type of student. The teacher sometimes select the students from among all the students of a class. The brilliant students may be pulled. That means poor students, they can be also selected. But it totally depends on the teacher. What type of students the teacher wants to include in a group. Then the topic is given, and it is given to discussion. And the students, they can discuss. This is only what happens. Totally, it depends on the teacher. What type of students the teacher will select from the group. The next one is, that is the thin pair share. Thin pair share. Thin pair share means the only pair, two students are selected. Two students are selected by the teacher, that these two students, these pair students, they think, and in between them, they can share their view. They can be given a content. They can given a passage. The two students, they can read, they can think, they can give their views to other notes, other students, student. Two students are there. One student will give his view to others, and similarly the other student also can give his views to the other person after reading the content. The notes, the main points are also right are also written by the student, and by this process they can have a discussion, and this is the process of sharing the ideas, that one can share the his idea to the other member. This is the two, between the two student, the sharing of ideas that takes place. And another is idea circle. Idea circle. What is idea circle? And in idea circle, what happens? Small groups are developed. Small groups are developed, and it is managed by the peers, by the students. It is the small group. It is the student who is, or whose role is very important in idea circle. That means, suppose Suppose in a project, when a project is given to a student, then it is not possible on the part of a particular student to complete a project. He can complete the project, but he will face difficulties. If small group is allowed to complete a project, then it would be very better. Therefore, informations what they want to gather, they can get from various sources, from the library, from the internet, from different sources. They can gather the uh, data. Therefore, it is very helpful for completing the project in a group. So next is inquiry oriented discussion. In inquiry oriented discussion, the students inquiry means they can explore the text. The material is given, and the students, they are allowed to go through the material or the topic, and they can find or explore the matter which is in the content. And here material is brought by an individual to the group. Here what happens, that the materials which are very important, that is being brought by an individual person of the group. Here in all the cases, the group is formed. Either it consists of 2 members or more than 2, but group is formed and discussion goes on. Here here in inquiry oriented discussion, what happens, that the group members, they discuss themselves among the group members about the similarities and differences between the new and old materials. Suppose sometimes if they are given a new content, they can also compare, they can also find the differences or similarities between the new and old learning experiences. Or if some material is given specifically in science, they can also find some differences and similarities. And next, that is the reading between the lines. Reading between the lines, here what happens, it asks the students to go beyond the literal label. Students' collaboration reflect on the text and then define. And it explores the hidden material. Here what happens, that in reading between the lines, whenever the students, they read line wise, they can find the meaning which is hidden in the line. This is what we say the uh, what the reading between the lines. And this is all about your different formats. And next I will discuss arranging the interaction session. Arranging the interaction session. How can the teacher arrange the interaction session? There are 5 sub activities. First is identifying themes. First, the teacher identifies the themes. That means identify the topic. Second is motivating the students. And the um, third is the circulating. Third is circulating. First one is identifying the themes. That means how can we identify the theme means subject matter. And the second is the motivation. or motivating the students. How can the students be motivated? This is very important. And third one is that notification, that regarding a particular discussion, first notification is to be given. What is the time and what is the venue, what is the date, what is the topic, what is the who will be the speaker, and regarding all these information, the students should be notified, and the students they can come prepared. And next circulating write-ups. Write-ups means circulating write-ups. It means the paper, write-up paper is prepared. That means the uh, students they prepare for discussion a note, or that is some written material before start of the group session, group discussion. And here circulatory adverse, what happens that what is sometimes you see in the seminar or in the in discussion, the some written materials are circulated, some Xerox materials are circulated to the participants, and the participants can give their thoughts, and they can think about the matter very precisely. Therefore, this is the system, or this is the circulating write-ups, the written materials that should be distributed among the participants, and the students, the participant, they can go minutely through this particular writings. Next, that is planning the strategy, how the strategy is planned. The group should be splitted. That should be that means a big group should be splitted into small groups. Activities are to be given in, and the entire responsibility are given to one or two students who are known as the convener. The convener is to control or undertake the activities, and it is the duty of the controller to supervise frequently, to guide. Sometimes the teacher also guides. So this is uh, what is the meaning of the planning the strategy. And now, what is the role during the group discussion? The teachers, the role of the chairman is very important. What is the role of the chairman? The role of the chairman is an initiator, that the chairperson acts as the initiator. From the very beginning, the chairperson gives some introductory speech about the persons who are present in the meeting. That means about the speaker, about the guest, about the organizer. These things the chairman first gives introduction, and he should the chairperson should have sufficient knowledge about the topic. And giving introduction, the chairperson should give a brief explanation about a particular topic. And the chairperson's second role is to motivate the students or the participants. The role of the chairperson is just a motivator, to motivate the participants. The chairman's talk should be in such a way that the participants automatically will be motivated towards the speaker. And the third one is that the chairperson is a facilitator. That means how the right of materials are to be circulated. That is his duty. He should see whether all the students or participants they are getting or not getting, and also who will speak one after another. The chairperson he should facilitate and he should serially uh, read the names of the participants, as a result of which it can be facilitated systematically. And here he is an also elaborator. His duty is to elaborate what one speaker says, and at last he should give a brief elaboration of his speech. And another role is the moderator, to moderate the length of time, that he should manage the time. He should from the very beginning tell about the time for which the discussion or the speech is given by a particular person. And he another role, that is he is just a controller, how he controls the discussion or seminar or any conference. It is the duty of the chairperson. And here he just does very important role during a discussion as a chairperson. Now, what is the follow-up of an interaction section? After interaction section, after interaction, when the interaction is completed, what is the duty for follow-up program of interaction session? That means here the lectures, he is to organize lecture discussion session, organize interaction section, and also he should arrange the field visits if it is necessary, and also he should provide reference materials, encourage library reading. This is the follow-up program. And here another thing is that it is very important that sitting plan of an interaction section. How the sitting plan can make the interactions session very effective. Now, one is the physical environment of the conference hall. That is very important. Physical environment, if it is not a good one, then automatically the participants they feel uh, um, uh, feel in such a way that the environment is not conducive for them. Eye contact with all. It is the very important duty of the chairperson. Whether the participants they are listening, they are concentrating to the speaker or not, he should also have a good contact eye with all the participants. And also sometimes the chairperson moves to the participants, as a result of which it can maintain discipline. It can maintain discipline. This moving of the chairperson helps to maintain discipline. And at the last, that evaluating the interaction section at the end, how it can be evaluated? It can be evaluated by informal conversations. It can be evaluated by anecdotal records. It can be evaluated by students' self-reports, and also it can be evaluated by observation, by systematic observation. And this is the 8th unit which I have completed, and now the 9th unit, that is skills for using communication aids. This is very interesting chapter. Whenever the teacher teaches the particular content, the teacher always wants to use the teaching aids or teaching aids. It is also known as the communication aids. The instruction process is a communication. The instruction process is a communication whether or where knowledge, information and skill flow from the teacher to the student through some communication materials. When the teacher teaches in the class, in order to make the teaching learning process very effective, the teaching materials are very helpful for better communication of knowledge from the teacher to the student. Therefore, success of any instructional activity depends on how communication takes place between the teacher and the students. Therefore, communication aids are known as also the teaching aids, which are used in instructional process in order to activate sense organs of the learners for inculcating learning experiences in a more meaningful way. This is very important. Communication aids help the teaching learning process by which the students they can understand better. Therefore, communication aids are very essential for the teaching learning process. And now we'll discuss why communication aid it is used by the teacher in the classroom. And it is used by the teacher in the classroom for multiplicity of the objectives. Multiplicity of the objectives. You see, whenever the teacher delivers a lesson in the class, the teacher, before entering into the classroom, prefixes some objectives in his mind, and he, when delivers the lesson, desires that all the objectives must be achieved by the learners at the end of his teaching learning process. That means the students, after uh, achieving the topic or content, the students they can develop, they can inculcate teaching content or the learning experiences in the form of different objectives. That means the objectives which the teacher wants to inject to the students through experience, through variety of experiences. That means a variety of teaching methods. The students outcome can be known from evaluation, and the teacher can always try to give this information in the form of the content in the form of knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, all these things, and the students' outcome can be well known. It is very important on the part of the teacher that before entering into the class, the teacher keeps all these objectives in his mind that at the end of teaching, all these objectives are acquired or achieved by the students. Here, the uh, the learners important. Learners are very important because they are to be motivated by the teacher. Teacher's duty is to motivate, and this is and another thing that appropriateness of learning experiences. The learning experiences, the learning content, the topic which is to be given by the teacher, that should be very very appropriate, and appropriate examples that should be given by the teacher, appropriate teaching learning materials that should be used by the teacher, that should be used by the teacher, and appropriate, and everything should be appropriate. The subject matter should be appropriate, the teaching material, learning materials should be appropriate, and the objectives which the teacher thinks in his mind, that should be also appropriate. Knowledge, understanding, etc., etc., under cognitive domain. And there are now different types of communication aids. The first type of communication aids, that is audio aid. Audio aid means what? Which is in voice. That means which one can listen, and here the sense organ, that is ear is very important. So under audio communication aid, that what happens, one human or the teacher sends the message through dialogue or through voice to the other participants or other students. Therefore, the teacher's duty is to how to provide the learning content in an appropriate voice. Voice should be audible to all the learners. Here, while using his communication aid during his teaching learning process, he should use the gramophone. Gramophone means what? Gramophone records audio tapes, stereo records, radio also can be used, and telephoning conversations. Nowadays, WhatsApp also is being used. So, this is the audio. Second one is visual. Here, visual, verbal, that is print material, print or duplicated material. Verbal means textbook, supplementary books. This is visual. Verbal means book which is used. This contains the verbal content. The teacher will not tell the students, they will only read from the textbook, from the supplementary books. It is also known as the reference books. Under it comes magazines, documents, duplicated written materials. These are the visual aid. And another aid, visual non-projected aid, two-dimensional. This is pictures or The posters, charts, cartoons, these are the two-dimensional. Yes. Another is visual non-projected three-dimensional models, diagrams, models, display materials, globes, maps, specimen, puppets. These are the visual three-dimensional. And fifth is the visual projected. That means which is very important for presentation of the learning content by using projector. Slides can be used film strips, overhead transparencies, and micro images. And next is audio visual projected motion. This is TV, CCTV, and video cassette, film. These are the audio visual projected motion. Seventh one is multimedia packages. Multimedia packages, slide with tape with workbook, radio with slide or posters. Another that is film with poster with workbook. This is multimedia packages. And another is very important that any of the above with group discussion. Suppose radio with slide with poster. If it is used as a multimedia package, then during the session, or it would be very better at the end of the session, some group discussion. If it is followed, then it becomes very effective. And then now during this modern age, new emerging media, that means teleconferencing, cable television, satellite TV, computer network,